Alright, y'all, let me pull myself together. Give me 1 second. Alright, so, can everybody hear me good? How's TikTok audio? How's Facebook audio? Let me check Facebook audio real quick. Let me check it. Move this a little bit closer to me. Maybe that'll get it out of my angle a little bit. Check it. Move this a little bit closer to me. Maybe that'll. Okay. All right, y'all. So we got a whole lot to unpack. We got a lot to unpack. Um. So y'all come in, get y'all a seat. Um. Because there's a lot we need to talk about. Yeah, I was waiting on my co-host to arrive, but as you can see, she's running late, so I'm kind of doing this on my own. Okay, I can't really see TikTok that great. Okay, there we go. Whew. Baby, there's something about this camera and this couch that adds some weight to you or whatever. All right, so today I was hold on 1 second. So today I was in court all day with the Amber Hester situation, and uh, y'all, I was a complete mess today. Like, honestly, I had almost forgot about it. Let me look check these comments. Hold on. Yes, I'm running late, Amber girl. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. Sugar Mama, girl, you know this is your favorite couch because, baby, Sugar Mama be asleep. Every time she comes, she be asleep on the couch. Okay, so y'all, we have a lot to unpack. Now, for full transparency, I'm gonna be 100% transparent because y'all know I wouldn't be who I am if I wasn't transparent and kept it real, kept it 100 with y'all. I can't see I can't see TikTok questions and answers on here. Um, so we're just gonna wing it. Okay, so all right, so today, for you guys that don't know, today's hearing, and I feel like maybe the microphone's up a little bit too loud. If I'm blasting y'all's ears, let me know, because I'm kind of going in the yellow. I'm seeing on my audio, and I naturally talk loud anyway, so I don't want to be too loud, and y'all be like, he's too loud. So, um, like I said, I don't want to be too loud. All right, so first of all, like I said, I was running real late. I was running real late this morning. Uh, I had to handle some business up in North Alabama, where I'm from, yesterday, so I was up there. Yeah, this video is gonna bother me because I'm off centered. Hold on. Let me fix my video. If y'all give me just 1 second, the transition is over. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's up too high. right, so I was running late this morning. There was a lot going on, but I made it in time. Um, and so let me be transparent. And Amber's on here, um, so I got to be transparent. So I went into this hearing and into this situation thinking maybe I'm missing something. Okay. I feel like there's so many facets to what's going on and what's been perpetuated online in court documents. All of these different people that sharing the videos and all of that of Amber's. So honestly, after Amber did our question and answer with us last week, I've kind of been reflecting on everything over the past week, and I've been like, okay, oh, I'm not recording over here. Hold on one second. I said, okay, let me be objective. Let me make sure that I'm telling the story the correct way. Let me make sure that I'm reporting on all angles. Because I don't want it to ever seem like I'm just one-sided on anything that I've got going on anything that I'm doing, on any platform, whatever. So, like I said, on the video I posted at lunch today, I reached out to everybody involved, everybody that's been named, everybody that's been a part of what has transpired. I have reached out to them for comment or for a statement. And Amber was the only person that ever reached back out with a statement, with wanting to tell her side of the story. So, I kind of ran with that. But I ran with that in a situation to where I wanted to make sure that I didn't just run with her side of the story. And like I said, I felt like that I was missing something. So Amber, in full transparency, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just reporting your side, and I wasn't telling the other side. So I came into this morning's hearing with I'm missing something. Y'all, I sat up there in that courthouse today from 8:55 this morning to we took a break at 12. I did the video at 12:30. We went back in at 1:30, stayed from 1:30 to 4:44. I walked out at 4:40, or I drove out of the parking lot at 4:44 today, Central Standard Time, and we didn't get finished. So I don't want nobody to think that I'm clickbaiting or that I'm trying to get views off of the situation and that I baited you guys to this live with the expectation of telling the whole story, and then y'all got here and I'm not telling the whole story because I can't tell the whole story because the whole story's not been written yet on this particular hearing that we were present for today. So for you guys that don't know, today's hearing was just on the injunction relief, where the party that's suing the former employer of Amber is suing her, and they're basically trying to get an injunction on her from posting anything on social media, speaking on their business, whatever. So, for me to be 100% transparent with my viewers, with my following, I'm going to tell you guys what I saw and what I witnessed. Now, attorneys are paid to do a multitude of things, right? But an attorney's main job is to make their client look as good as possible, or to spin a situation in their client's favor, correct? So, today's hearing, it was the plaintiff, which was Amber's former employer. It was their burden. It was their burden of proof today. So they asked for the hearing. They was putting on witnesses. So we heard from 2 of the doctors of the practice, and then we heard from the administrator. We was supposed to have also heard from Morgan, and we was also supposed to have heard from Amber herself. But we kind of ran late. And at the very end, and I hope that I'm not messing anything up, but I'm just reporting on what happened. So, at the very end, there was settlement talks, not settlement of the lawsuit, but, a settlement about, what Amber was to do. Basically her former employee wants her to take the videos down. So they had actually came to an agreement for Amber to take the one video down that shows her in the lobby, that shows the computer system. Okay, Amber said, okay, I'll take it down. So once they worked that out, then the lawyers came back, but in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I'm not on the plaintiff's side, I'm not on the defendant's side, but I have more insight of what's going on the defendant's side, which is Amber's side, because they're sharing more with me. Amber's sharing a lot of things with me. Her attorney's sharing a lot more things with me. So I have more of an insight of their side versus the plaintiff's side. So again, I don't want it to seem like that I'm being more objective to Amber or to the defense, because I'm literally just reporting on what I know and what I've seen with my own 2 eyes, my own 2 ears, and what I'm privy to from what I've been able to be a witness of. So, again, in my opinion, I feel like that, so like I said, they had that agreement in place. Amber agreed to it. That's what was going to happen. Well, then last minute, it was now all of a sudden, not only do they want Amber to take the video of the waiting room down, but they also want Amber to take the video down of the admin running down the hall, calling the police, all of that. They also wanted that video took down as well. So that was a no-go for Amber. And rightfully so. I agree. I feel like that if there was an agreement made, I feel like that if they come to a conclusion, I feel like that's how it should have been. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, I had to let them know to turn that music down because, baby, it was rocking the shed. So I feel like that the administrator, and I'm not trying to get hit with a cease and desist and a lawsuit myself, so I'm going to be very careful about how I word things and how I mention things. But from what I could gather, what I feel like was the issue I feel like that the administrator feels some type of way about how she was made to be how she looked on social media, and she wanted the video down too. So literally that last so all the attorneys went into a conference around 4 o'clock, maybe 3:45, 4 o'clock. The attorneys went into conference to speak on the injunction, on settling the injunction, or at least getting an agreement on the injunction. And the judge went on to his chamber. He thought we were going to come to he thought they were going to come to an agreement too. So he was like, y'all just call me when y'all are ready, whatever. Like I said, we all thought everything. I mean, listen, I had already made a post. Amber, I had already made a post that I ended up having to delete. And it said, at 4:14 Central Standard Time, Amber Heard's legal team has reached an agreement regarding the viral videos. We will be breaking down the hearing that has lasted all day and what? At 7 p.m. I know y'all can't see it all the way up there because the camera's all the way back there, but TikTok can see it. So y'all, I made a whole post. Didn't post it yet. Was gonna post it as soon as we got final word, but I was not able to post it. Y'all, when they come back and said there was no deal, I was like, oh my gosh. We have literally sat in this courtroom all day. And y'all, I have so much I would like to tell y'all, like the tea that I got as far as like receipts. But I don't want to get thrown out of the courtroom because we still got we got to finish the hearing. So I'm not gonna dive too deep into that yet. But stay tuned. As soon as they get the new setting, as soon as I know when the next court date's gonna be, because I know they're not doing it Monday, but I'm sure it'll be sometime next week so they can wrap it up, and put a bow on it. I'm gonna really break it down. And like I said, I really feel like that. I really feel like that I'm clickbaiting y'all. And I promise y'all, I swear to God, I'm not. Swear to God, this ain't no clickbait. This ain't no hookadook. Like, I really wholeheartedly thought, number one, we was gonna have the hearing done today. And then, like I said, I can show y'all the draft Facebook post that I had already typed up. Was getting ready to click send. And literally at the last minute, we was thrown a monkey wrench and said that, wasn't nothing going to happen. They didn't reach a settlement. But, again, look at this. Hold on. Amber, I don't. That's the thing. I don't want to talk on it yet because, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why off camera later. But the last thing I want is sanctioned or the judge saying he don't want me in there, because already, as you know, the bailiff walked up to me 2 different times about having a cell phone out and things like that. So I don't want sanctioned. I don't want the judge to say I'm not allowed in the courtroom. So I'm gonna keep it cute for right now. But we definitely gonna circle back. As soon as I'm able to circle back, we're gonna circle back about it, and we're gonna talk about it, fully. But I just can't. I don't want to mess up what you got going on. Number one, and number two, I don't want to mess up any other situation. So the thing about it is, y'all, at the end of the day, what I saw with my own 2 eyes, my own 2 ears today, and again, this is me being 100% objective. Them people are butthurt. That's just me calling it like I see it. Um, and I can't say that I necessarily blame them, um, because I would be too. If it was my business, if I was going through what they are going through with an employee right now, I would be doing the exact same thing they are doing. I would be lawyered up. I wouldn't be making I wouldn't be making any statements. I would be, on my P's and Q's. So I get it. I understand. I feel them. But I also feel like that maybe they're not playing completely fair. And I feel like that they are only telling part of the story. Um, Someone definitely lied on the stand today. What? Let me be careful. Would we say she lied? What did Krista say? Tell me who got caught lying on the stand. Oh, I just was okay. Lord Jesus, I hope I don't get hit with sanctions or with something of my own. But Amber said for me to tell it, so I'm gonna tell it. Um, I don't know if I need to tell it though, Amber. That's the thing. I mean, that's gonna help you in like the court, but she's saying tell it. So y'all, the HR manager, director, whoever, I'm not gonna say her name. She most definitely got caught. I'm not gonna say in a lie. I'm not gonna say she perjured herself, and I'm not gonna say lie. But I'm definitely going to say that she got caught in a half truth. She got caught not being factual. And Amber's baby. Oh. So Amber, can I tell the situation? Can I tell what happened? Somebody said don't tell it. Wait. Mr. Hesser said don't say a lot. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Right now, um, yeah, I think, yeah, you're absolutely right, baby. No, there was not no gag order issued, thankfully, but that's what I don't want to happen. Krista, I don't want a gag order to be issued, and then at that point, can't nothing be reported on while it's active. And it can even get to a point to where the judge can say, if you're not a party to, um, you can't be in the courtroom, or even media can't be in the courtroom. So yeah, I definitely don't want it to get to a point to where a gag order is issued, because it's not over. Um, Krista, I don't think they're letting general public in. Am I right about that? Amber, I think you had to be media or family. Because I was asked, was I media? Or I was asked, why I was there, and then somebody said I was media. Uh, so I'm not really sure on that. I know that a lot of hearings, um, although they're not private, um, they're not necessarily public either. And this is not a trial yet, so these are just hearings. So the judge don't have to allow anybody in there. Honestly, not even the media. Um, of course, the media could fight that, but yeah, I don't. They kept asking everyone who came in why they were in there. Exactly, yeah, Amber. And that's why I think that it was not completely entirely open to the public. You had to have a reason why you were there. You had to be a part of like what was going on or a witness. Um, so I'm not sure. I don't give me the line. The bailiff, nor the judge, nor the court reporter, they never said that it was a closed hearing. They never said it was a private hearing. But yeah, they was asking everybody why they were there, and they did ask me, was I there in a media capacity? Um, so yeah, so since your husband's saying, we're gonna keep it short, we're gonna definitely keep it short, because like I said, like, um, I keep it real and keep it real, y'all. The other day I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and I'm like, y'all, I just don't think, I'm kind of, I hate it for Amber. I don't know how this is going to fare for her. It's not looking good. Like, according to the court documents, like, they got the girl charged, they eating her up in the court documents. So, I was like, no, I don't know. But, baby, listen. It was like a tennis match today. It was literally like I was watching a tennis match today. I was like, baby, them lawyers in that courtroom was not playing. They was not here to play. And neither did, so shout out to Judge Hughes. I'm not from here, not from the area. I've only been, to court just a handful of times here, and I've been a part of 3 lawsuits in Lee County. 2 of them were lawsuits I filed. One of them was one that was filed against me. I've won all 3. Um, but it was I had Speakman, and I've had Judge Copeland. Those have been the 2 judges that I've had. And it was a totally different experience with Judge Hughes. When I tell you Judge Hughes is a very objective judge, like, I have really seen a lot of judges, not just here in Lee County, and I can't really speak that much on Lee County, but like, I've seen a lot of judges that are either pro defense or pro plaintiff or pro um, the prosecution, pro the defendant. Like, you don't see a whole lot of judges that literally looks at the whole picture, right? And looks at case law and weighs on the merits. Like, I feel like Amber, that is literally the best judge you could have. Judge Hughes, it was a phenomenal judge, in my opinion. So far, what I saw, and I was in the courtroom with him all day today, and when I tell you that judge was taking notes, he wasn't dozing off, he wasn't missing nothing. He was asking his own questions. He was making sure case law was being followed. Like, I really love that for judges. Let's see. Let's see. I'm reading these comments. Hold on one second. Kristen Nixon. Amber needs to be very careful, um, what she says and does at this point. And I'm so glad that she has got a good legal team that's telling her that, and she's literally listening to them. So I love that for her. Because one of my first conversations with Amber was, girl, please make sure that you don't say and do the wrong thing that can slip you up, can mess you up, with a potential. And this was before we knew about the lawsuit. Like, the very first conversation that I had with Amber, it was before any lawsuits were filed. Um, and that was one of my first conversations with her, was be very careful about what you say and do on Beyonce's internet, because Beyonce's internet is very unforgiving, and baby, you know the tide can turn at any time for any reason. It can literally turn on you. It can go with you, it can go against you. So you really have to be careful about how you say and how you do things and the delivery. And there again, in my 100% honest opinion, Amber, I really wholeheartedly believe that in the beginning you was a little reckless with some of the things you was saying and posting. But I get it. Everybody does. Everybody is, especially with literally overnight fame. And you was hurt. You was aggravated. You was pissed. You was angry. So, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't know what I would have done or how I would have handled things if I would have been in Amber's situation. Like, I know that I don't think God has blessed me so tremendously to be where I'm at in my life today. I honestly, wholeheartedly do not feel like that I could go back and have a boss. I don't feel like that I could ever work for anybody. I don't feel like that I could ever work for anybody again in my life. Hold on, I'm on live. Are you here? It's in my cyber show. Give me 1 second. Let me. I'm about to wrap this up. All right. So, if I was put like I try to look at things objectively, like I keep saying. I have literally put myself in Amber's position, and I put myself in her previous employer's position. Let me read this real quick. Emotions definitely have been influenced for us. Exactly. And back to Judge Hughes is very fair. He definitely is. Um, so from what I've seen, I don't know. Like I said, thankfully I do not, and I'm wanting to say that Hughes is my husband's judge, my EJ's judge. Um, I know that Speakman was the judge for something of EJ's, and then he was the initial judge that got our divorce petition when I first filed for divorce, but then it went to, I think it was Hughes. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I literally spent all day today in court. I witnessed some. I witnessed some very good legal maneuvers from the attorneys involved, the judge, like, I mean, phenomenal. Like everybody, um, it was a good proceeding. Like, I'm gonna be very, I'm gonna be very invested in this. I think I've told y'all that before. Um, I'm gonna be very invested in this, not just for this podcast. Like, I feel like that I have now a vested interest in what's going on because, like, part of me is like pro Amber, part of me is pro her previous employer. So it's like, I'm just trying to figure out. I want to know. I want to know what really happened. I want to get down to the bottom of what really, really happened. And I always tell people there are three sides to every story, right? There's person A, there's person B, and there's a truth somewhere in between. So I got to see a lot. That's what I keep saying. I got to see a lot of her previous employer's hand today because this was their hearing. This was called by them. It was their witnesses. Like, they tipped a lot of their hand about what they're going to be presenting in court, what they're going to be trying to say Amber did, what she didn't do, what they did, what they didn't do. And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't impressed. I mean, I feel like that at the end of the day, them folks was wrong. Them folks was wrong for how they handled the situation from the beginning. Like me, love me, hate me, clip me, talk mess about me. Hopefully the judge don't box me out. Um, but I feel like that them folks is in damage control right now. And like I said, I feel them. I would be too if it was my business. If one of my, if Amber was my employee, and you know but the thing about it is, honestly, like the doctors, the even the admin, even the HR director, they didn't know what was going on between Amber and her team lead. Amber and her team lead were friends. They ended up having a falling out. Then boom, this stuff happened. So I feel like that Amber's employer was just collateral damage to a flawed friendship, a stab in the back per se. So, but I think it just had a snowball effect on everybody involved, and I hate it for everybody. And I mean, to be 100% honest and to keep it real, I hate it for everybody. I hate it for the OBGYN office. I hate it for Amber. I hate it for the employees, and I definitely hate it for that poor woman that got up on the stand today, and potentially got herself in some trouble because, like I said, baby, can't get on there and tell what. But I can't. Never mind. Amber told me not to say it. I want to say what happened so bad, but I'm gonna be quiet. But when I can speak on it, when I can tell y'all what happened, I was so tickled because I was like, y'all, and see, y'all know I don't have, number one, I don't have a poker face. And number two, like, everybody knows I'm silly as fuck. And before I realized it, I was like, oh, I literally made that sound in a quiet courtroom that only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, not counting the lawyers and the judge. I was like, ooh, because once I realized, oh, baby girl had messed up, and once I realized that Amber had the receipt that she had, I was like, ooh, wee, y'all. Mm, baby. Mm, child. Now, Cortoria, what was that to say? You know that girl could slap, baby. We would be in a whole different courtroom if Amber would have slapped that girl across that desk. I'm glad Amber just cussed her out and slammed that badge across the desk and not her wrist or fist or whatever. But y'all, I was too tickled. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was too tickled tonight, or today. Um, I'm literally, y'all, I had to go to North Alabama and get my tag for my cyber truck today or yesterday. And I was on the road 8 hours, and I was on the road 8 hours yesterday, and I got a little bit. I feel like I might be getting a little bit of a sinus infection or something. My nose has been runny. So last night I took a Benadryl, and y'all, literally, I woke up at 8:35 this morning, and I'm so glad I was done at my house in Georgia. I'm glad that I was here in Opelika. I got up at 8:35, brushed my teeth, threw me some clothes on, looked a mess, and popped up in the folks' courtroom. Like, hello, I'm here. Amber, you definitely had a bulldog in there. You did, like, I was, And I ain't gonna hold y'all. Um, I have heard mixed things about your attorney. Just keeping it real, keeping it 100. Um, I what was it like? I was flabbergasted, like because I had heard that he's only good on criminal stuff. Then I heard he was only good on personal injury. Then I heard he wasn't good, period. So I had heard multiple things. But when I tell you your lawyer came in there not to play and not to be misconstrued. I'm trying to see, baby, TikTok. Hold on, wait a minute. They fired her legally and she flipped out. No. Well, hold on. That's only that's the only question I've seen on TikTok because I'm not scrolling all the way up there. Um. So to be clear, Alabama is a work at will state, meaning that an Alabama employer can fire you for any reason. Literally, your boss can have woke up on the wrong side of the bed that morning, get to work. You piss him off or piss her off or whatever, or not. Just look at them wrong, and you're fired. And there's nothing you can do. There's no recourse unless you do have an employment contract. But that's a whole nother animal. We're not getting into that. But Alabama is a work at will state. An employer can fire you for any reason whatsoever, no reason, with a reason, whatever. So was she fired legally? Yes, of course. She was definitely fired legally. Was it done the correct way? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, fight me in the comments, argue with me, whatever. That woman was not fired ethically, justly. Um, and let me get to one more thing. That is a hot button topic for me before I get off here, because I got something I gotta do. And I said I was gonna be on here for less than an hour, because y'all know I love to talk, and I'll talk to y'all all night. Let me a hot button topic for me, and something that grinds my gears more than just about anything, and that's that convicted felon or that convicted criminal bullshit. Irks my soul. I just turned 37 years old. When I was 17 years old, anybody that knows me knows I got in trouble at 17 years old, and them folks sent me to prison for almost 10 years. At 17 years old, I have been out of the criminal justice system since 2012. And when I tell y'all, I had to do a lot to rebuild my life. I'm still hit with so many obstacles, so many barriers, so much bullshit that I have to deal with because I made stupid decisions at the age of 17. It irks my soul more than anything in this world that as a society, we do not want to give a second chance to convicted criminals. And furthermore, 80% of these judges, of these probation officers, police officers, the ones that are supposed to be upholding the law or handing out sentences or whatever, they just as corrupt, they just as illegal and just as whatever as the ones that they are charged with charging. And to be clear, when you go 60 and a 55, you breaking the law, sweetheart. When you have a glass of wine at the restaurant and you drive on home, you drinking and driving, baby doll. And I think that's what bothers me more than anything is Everybody deserves a redemption. Everybody deserves a second chance. Right, wrong, indifferent, whatever you want to call it. Like, the thing about it is, ain't nobody that has walked this green earth but Jesus Christ himself perfect, okay? From the pastor to the judge to the jury to the jurors, whatever. Ain't nobody perfect. We all sin and fall short of the glory of God. We all do things that we're not necessarily proud of. We've all broken a little law here and there, whether it's speeding, whether it's drinking and driving, having a glass of wine at the restaurant and then driving on home, whether it's whatever. I don't care. You can get on here, you can fight me on Beyonce's internet all you want to, and play like you're holier than thou, but babe, please. Babe, please. And I think that's what irks my soul the most about the criminal justice system, society. I heard today Amber, I heard today with my own 2 ears the disdain that both doctors that testified, the admin that testified, when they referred to her criminal history, it was like you would have thought she was the scum of the earth. And this woman ain't even been convicted of a felony. A simple assault. That's a misdemeanor. That was in municipal court. Wasn't even in county court. Wasn't even a felony. Like, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Everybody deserves a second chance, no matter what it is you have done. I feel like a lot of people deserve third and fourth chances because guess what? We are not perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. And that's just a simple reality. That's just where we're at. And the climate that we're in, it's just everything's so politically charged. Either you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. You're on the left or you're on the right. You either stand for this or you stand up against that. Like, when did life become so black and white? When did life become it's either right or wrong? Like, this can't be what our forefathers fought for. Like, it can't be. Like, it can't be. Like, I just, like, you know what? Whole nother, whatever. It's almost 8 o'clock. By 8 o'clock, I'm going to be off this live, okay? This is a developing story. I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to the end. Now, when tax season gets here, if this ain't wrapped up by tax season, you know, I might miss some hearings. I might not get to be present in all of everything that's going on. But I'm going to try my best to make it my point, or to make it my, what do you call it? Make it my business to be there as much as possible and follow this case as much as I can potentially follow it without it affecting the way that I make my money. But I just feel like that the system failed Amber as far as like where she's even at. But there again, Amber, sweetheart, I feel like that a good bit of this stuff, especially legal stuff, brought on yourself, baby doll. You know, I love you, I support you. You know, I like you. But there's some things to this that I don't wholeheartedly agree with either, 100%. So it's definitely going to be an interesting saga to watch. I can't wait till we find out about, what the judge is going to end up, how the judge is going to rule on all of this, and how this is ultimately going to affect my girl, and how things transpire. Um, but that's all I have for y'all. And I really appreciate y'all tuning in. And like I said, I did not mean this to be no type of clickbait. It wasn't supposed to be that. I really wholeheartedly thought that I was going to be able to tell the whole story, get on here, and be honest about everything that happened. But I also don't want to affect Amber's. I don't want to affect her legal strategy, her attorney's ability to help fight for her, and the things that are eventually going to come out. Because I'm a firm believer what's done in the dark will eventually come to light. And you can't be low down, you can't be dirty, you can't play loose and not think that it ain't gonna come back on you. Because like I said, I it ain't right. Right, wrong, indifferent. Like I said, I'm here. I'm here to the end. As long as the judge continues to allow me to be in the courtroom. That's why I don't want to get on here and bash either side. I want to tell the truth. I want to be objective. I don't want to seem like I'm leaning more towards Amber's side. I'm leaning more towards the other side. I want to be objective. I want to be, I want to tell the truth. I want to tell exactly what happened. But there again, I don't want to speak on anything that's not that's not firm yet. So, but y'all, I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. And TikTok, I've got some good views on TikTok. I don't never go live. I'm League D4, top 99%. I don't never go live on TikTok like that. I say that I'm gonna start, and then I don't never start. Let me see if there's some questions. People need to be educated. There's a lot of TikTok comments, baby. Somebody said I've never joined a live discussion. But anyways, that's it, y'all. Let me get how do I get off here. Let me end this TikTok live. In the live co-host for 15 more minutes, and you'll reach stage 4 in your live journey. Hold on. In live co-host for 15. So I'm gonna stay live for a second more on TikTok, YouTube. Facebook. If y'all want to click on my TikTok, it's Dustin Farley 1. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here because we've hit our hour. And I already hear the fan on my computer running. I'm running all these cameras, which I've only got one pointed towards me, and these mics. It's taxing on this computer. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here in the live on Facebook. I'm going to stay on TikTok for just a little bit more. Again, if you want to click on my TikTok, it's Dustin Farley, DUSTIN, FARLEY, the number 1. And thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the love and support.